All right, it is August 20th, 21st, who knows, of 2024. And I have just finished Going Postal by Terry Pratchett. It is the first book that I finished in Discworld that is outside of the City Watch series. I've read all the City Watch books, all eight of them, and I would say two to three of them are of the City Watch are like worth reading, really. Um, and then this one, Going Postal, is also worth reading, which is nice to see. I'm not, I'm not someone who reads every Discworld and is enthralled by all of them. I was supremely disappointed by actually a lot of the City Watch books, and I tried reading Mort, I think, or I think I tried listening to it. There was a flight, and I wanted to try it, and it just didn't work. Maybe audiobooks aren't for me, but I just know Mort wasn't working for me. It might have been the audiobook, but at least this Going Postal, I heard this one was a good one. And because of that, one of the better ones, right? And because of that, wanted to pick it up. Someone who is taking care of like a post office, setting it up and getting it working again. And yeah, it was crazy interesting, super interesting. Moist von Lipwig is the main character, a thief, an ex-thief, ex because he's given an opportunity at a new life, right, by Veterinary, Lord Veterinary, the tyrant of Ankh-Morpork, and it was very easy to understand, especially this time, because a lot of these are recurring characters. Like Lord Vetinari is a big part of this book, and he's one of the best characters in all of this world, like top two or three from what I remember. Because it's been months since, at least 6 months since I've read the City Watch books. um, Behind Vimes and I think like Carrot or Knob or something. But Vimes is mentioned in it. Carrot's mentioned. Veterinari's mentioned. The clacks are a big part of this. The kind of radio tower things that are set up. They're not exactly radio towers, but the gist is the same. And it was just nice to come back into the world. And it definitely felt like I was into the later books because the Clax Machine things don't show up until a few books into the City Watch series. But I still remembered it, luckily. And I think the werewolf also was. Anyways, it was nice to come back into the Discworld, Ankh-Morpork specifically book, or world. Yeah, it's nice, even though I like less I like less Discworld books so far than I dislike, or not even dislike, just lukewarm on. The humor still works for me. I laughed out loud like twice or three times, which was nice, and it was good. It wasn't the funniest of the Discworld books that I've read. That still goes for Guards, and it wasn't the best Discworld book that I've read so far, which was, I believe, City or Night Watch, I think is what it's called. It's the one where, spoilers, Lord Commander Vimes goes back in time. Right, that one was the best one by far. I loved that book, even so much that I have a physical copy of it being shipped back to the States, which I don't have physical copies of many books. All of it is on my Kindle. Anyways, the this book was a great standalone because it was, you're introduced to a character, you're introduced to a problem. You have like the post office and its struggles of going from obscurity and disrepair to a new and thriving thing that is now, competing with a, it feels like a 21st or 20th century technology, right, with the clacks. Anyways, I really like that. It was a good backbone of the story, good skeleton. The character was fun and interesting, and he had a very compelling compelling habit of getting into situations where he was kind of flying by the seat of his pants, having a whole bunch of eyes on him, and then raising the stakes, and then somehow coming out on top through ingenuity and luck. and that was always fun to read. It's always fun to read that kind of stuff, and it that kind of came into play throughout, and it ramped up the entire book until the very end when he's like, "Oh my god, I'm so far over my head on this," but that's where he thrives. That's where he thrives, and it's really fun to see. There was a love interest, there's a romance in there, which didn't take center stage, but it was nice. It gives heart. It gives much needed heart and a reason, honestly, a really good reason for our titular character to have kind of stakes in this city and in this new life, right? It's good to have reason other than he somehow has a profound respect and desire now to bring up the post office up. And there's a little bit going on there, but it feels a lot. The story itself feels a lot more grounded and cohesive, and it works better if there's a love interest in there. He's you know he makes inroads with the two surviving postmen, I guess. And they have interesting quirks, as you'd imagine a Discworld character to have. And it was nice. It definitely felt like the City Watch, where they were fully like cartoon characters, but like funny and realized cartoon characters in a lot of ways. So that was fun. That was really fun. I liked that. Um, let's see. Villain was interesting. It wasn't like it's a lighthearted Discworld book, so the most he did was like defraud a like a person, a family, and take businesses away, the main business from someone in the past, and then order the killing of a few people, right? And that was not, and nothing was like crazy brutal or anything. Like, it's a Discworld book, so the villain wasn't hateable. The villain wasn't any of that. It was just they served to be there, and it was the main villain, and the main conflict is really the post versus the clacks machines, and the man versus machine almost feeling of that. The what's that guy's name? The guy who fought the engine, the engine going through the mountain. I forget his name. It's like Eli, something Eli. I forget. Anywho, tall tales are not good for my memory. I don't have many of them left in my head. But yeah, really fun book, really engaging book. I would definitely rate it like put it third or fourth on the list of like best Discworld books that I've read so far. This is my ninth Discworld that I've read again, and I'd have Guards or or Night Watch, one of those. I think Night Watch, Guards, and then going Postal. So it was a nice return to form of Discworld. I left off with, I think, Thud at the end of that series of the City Watch series, and it wasn't a stellar ending. Sir Terry Pratchett died, so I mean, there wasn't like a conclusion. He ended the Discworld series, and then everything should be wrapped up in a bow, and and I don't blame him for it, right? It's just it didn't have a satisfying conclusion, I'd say. So it's nice to come back into Discworld and not be completely dissatisfied with another book that's the quality of Thud or something. And by quality, I mean it's not a bad book, but it's just mediocre, meh, 3-star kind of book. And so again, nice to read it. Going Postal, I'd give it probably like we give it like an 8 out of 10. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Yeah, it's really solid so far. The Discworld humor works for me, but it's not like this isn't top tier books that I would put 5 stars on and make it high eights into the nines. I wouldn't do that, not for Going Postal. I'm not even sure if I did it for those other two that I mentioned, and I'm not sure going thinking about it now that they would deserve it at this point. They would be, those two books would be high eights if I have to think about it, or middling eights. This was just an 8, solid book, and there's 2 more or 3 more, I forget. You know how they're broken out. Discworld is broken out into like series, and I tried again with Mort. I might have to do that later. I'll give it some time. And this is the Von Leipwig series or something. It's only like 3 or 4 books, so I think I'm gonna try them. I looked at the like this little picture showing all of the timelines and all the series and how they kind of chronologically go. And this series is towards the end of all the other ones. So I'm going to still, I might jump to the weird sisters or the the witches. I might do that. But I like this guy, but it might serve the story to come back later and kind of have a nostalgic hit to it. Yeah, I might do that instead of what I did with City Watch, which was just roll right through. Yeah. Anyways, that's all for Going Postal. I really recommend it, and yeah, we'll see what the next book is on the list. I believe it's Ryan Cahill series thing, but Bound and Broken. Yeah. But anyways, we'll see when that comes out. These are all sent out in like the wrong order, but it's kind of how I feel that day when I submit it, when I post it. So we'll see what the next one is, but on to it. On to the next one.